Hey, welcome to my kitchen. Some of you know that my oven broke a few days ago, and I had a friend who asked me to post a video of how I was going to fix it. So this is my oven. I've already taken the top racks off, and this is a JennAir double oven with electric ovens and a gas range on the top. So what I did was, all you need to do is find the model of your unit and the brand. So mine is a JennAir, and I actually found the model number in the owner's manual that was left here by the previous owners, but usually the model number will be inside the door or on the back of the oven. So what happened is my husband was preheating it for making pie and noticed that there was some sparking going on inside, and it just looked like something was getting ready to explode. So he shut it off, and then when he looked at it, it was pretty obvious what had taken place. So I'm gonna just reverse this and show you. Yes, my oven is nasty, I am aware. That's fine, don't judge me. But what happened was the heating element down here on the bottom, and there's two. There's one on the top and one on the bottom, and only the one on the bottom failed. But sometimes, you know, over time they get something that drops down on them. Maybe it's like cheese or something like that, and it can actually over time burn onto the element and cause it to break. And this one actually broke in half. Sometimes you'll just see it as a little like silver line where it's starting to happen, but when that occurs, you definitely don't want to use it. You want to make sure you get a new heating element and replace it. So if you look at how this is installed, most all of them are similar in style in that they're kind of plug and play. So this one actually has two screws at the back here that I'll need to undo, and then you're just going to pull out these two prongs like you would an electrical outlet. So you want to go ahead and turn the oven off. So I will do that, and then I'm going to just remove this old one, and then I'll come back. I'm going to point out a couple things. First, this is my husband, and he's super handsome, and he wanted to point out that he loves me. So that's always good. And now I want to point out here that when I have removed this old heating element, when I pulled this out, I had the red connector was actually attached to the wire, but the other one was not. And so I don't know if I pulled it out when I was installing it or if it was slightly disconnected anyway, which may have caused a short that caused it to break. But in any event, those are the old connections, so I'm going to take that. The next thing I'm going to do now I've got the old one out is just look at the old one and the new one side by side, and I'm going to line them up on top of each other to make sure that the footprints match. Now, I got mine on Amazon. I could have bought it from Sears, but it got here faster with Amazon. They don't make this part by JennAir anymore, so you know, they're going to be modified a little bit. So there's a few things that are different. You can see the feet on the old one has like this double prong, and this has the single prong, which is fine. It's just keeping it off the bottom of the oven. And then the most important thing you want to see is that the connections are going to be the same. So you can see when I lay these on top of each other, they're pretty close, and the connections are identical, and so that's what you want. Now this new one, the attachment plate is more flimsy. It actually got bent a little bit during shipment, but that's fine. I'll just straighten it before I install it. And I did save the original screws because very rarely is your new part going to come with the hardware that you need to actually attach it. So just make sure you hang on to the original screws. So now we're going to go ahead and put the new one in. Okay, so to attach this, I just have to put the connectors that are coming from the oven onto the connectors in the new heating element. So I don't know if you can see, but these guys right here, they just slide over the top of those connections. So I don't know, it's too dark in here to really do it. So let me connect those and then I'll show you. You should be able to see that better, and you can see where I've just plugged each one of those caps, just slid them over the top of those connections, and they kind of snap into place. And that's really all there is to it. Just pull back on it a little bit, make sure that it's seated, and that's all you have to do. So now I'm going to push this whole thing back into place where it goes. Try not to break the new one as I go. They're a little bit fragile. So get a hold of this. There we go. And I'm just going to push that back into place. I'm going to make sure that my holes line up back here, and then I'm just going to screw it back in. You can see I've got the new one screwed securely into place, You do want to tighten the screws until they're tight. You don't need to use a drill. You don't need to tighten them excessively. You just need to make sure that bottom part of the plate is flush with the back of the oven, because that's like a heat shield to stop it from igniting the insulation that's behind those connections. So that's it. You don't need to overdo it. If you over tighten it, you're just going to bend the metal, and that's not going to help you. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in and turn around and give it a test. The very last thing I do is go ahead and turn the oven on, let it heat up, and we're going to just make sure that that heating element is on. And you can see through the door it is. Open it up. Looks good. So, yeah, that's all. It will smell a little bit funky, like if you get a new toaster oven or something like that. You know, when you first turn it on, it smells a little funny. So it will smell like that. Don't be afraid. Just make sure that, you know, you're not burning the house down. And just, you know, be present in the room the first time you turn it on to make sure that's working. Another thing you could do, I guess, is put an oven thermometer in there, one that's oven proof, and just make sure that your temperatures are going up to the right temp, and you may want to recalibrate your oven. So if you have never done that, I would Google it, because that is also a thing. You can calibrate the temperature of your oven. So I hope that was helpful, and happy repairing. Bye-bye.